You've described yourself at 21 that you broke down mentally.
I think it all just hit me too quickly. Like, people aren't supposed to be you're not supposed to be that successful when you're that young. Nowadays, everyone knows what anxiety is. They know what stress is. They know what, panic attacks are. I didn't know what that stuff was. I always kept it to myself. I was like, oh, like, of course the room spins when you're about to like take a test when you're 12. And I was young, and it was at this point I had started making big songs. So every time I got in the studio, I was expected to make the big song for someone. And, all these things are happening. You go anywhere, you can get anything for free. There's women, there's this, there's that. And it was all happening to me so quickly. And a man named Barry Lebetkin, that was my therapist that somebody hooked me up with, saved my life. And,
Wow.
I started doing CBT therapy. It was very important to me, the cognitive behavioral
Behavioral,
therapy.
yeah.
And yeah, and it was very important to me to be able, you know, to get this toolbox where whenever I was having, you know, anxious thoughts, I could reach into this little toolbox and help myself get over it. And I've helped so many artists and people do that, and it's okay. I always, try to tell people it's okay. Yeah, I got so many issues, and
Yeah.
it's okay to have them, and it's okay to not, it's okay to fall back on it sometimes and be like, you know what, I feel fucking anxious, even though, overall I do feel great all the time, and I'm very lucky that I never had to struggle with, like, depression or anything, and I know how
Right.
tough that is, but yeah, I struggle with anxiety, I struggle with imposter syndrome, I struggle with all these things, and that stuff never goes away. Also in my career too, like, I've had times where I'm the top of the world, and then I've had times where it's not working out for me, and what I always try to do is I always tell people this. I always want to give myself a new thing to go, because sometimes the music's not coming. So you know what I do? I go and I act in a TV show. I go and I write a cookbook. I go and I do, and I always just want to challenge myself to stay inspired, because sometimes you're not inspired. So you got to find a new way to get inspired.
That's a really good lesson because, let's face it, the music's not always gonna be there. You can't you've written 30 number 1 hits, but at the same point, you can't go in every time working with somebody and create a hit. It's just not possible. Sometimes
No.
you're gonna bomb, right? It's just gonna
Yeah,
happen.
I fucking bomb every day. And you know what? When I have failure every day, but I wake up with fucking amnesia the next day, and I go in and I try to do it again.